So on August 20th of 2020, Governor Whitmer signed House Bill 5913 into law. This Public Act 149. So Section 98A states that in order to receive state aid for the 2020-2021 school year, districts must provide for instruction under an extended COVID-19 learning plan that has been approved by an intermediate district or authorizing body. So this plan does not replace the district's COVID-19 preparedness and response plan. It is an additional plan that includes new assurances and sections on educational goals, instructional delivery, grading, and equitable access. So some of the assurances that are built into the ECOL. Bloomfield Hills Schools will make their Oakland Schools approved extended COVID-19 learning plan accessible through the transparency reporting link located on www.bloomfield.org no later than October 1st of 2020. Bloomfield Hills Schools will create and make available on its transparency reporting link located on the district's website a report concerning the progress made in meeting the educational goals contained in the extended COVID-19 learning plan not later than February 1st of 2021, for goals is expected would be achieved by the middle of the school year and not later than the last day of school of the 2020-21 school year for goals Bloomfield Hills Schools expected will be achieved by the end of the school year. If delivering pupil instruction virtually, Bloomfield Hills Schools will provide pupils with equitable access to technology and the internet necessary to participate in instruction, and expose each pupil to the academic standards that apply for each pupil's grade level or courses in the same scope and sequence as the Bloomfield Hills Schools have planned for that exposure to occur for in-person instruction. Benchmark assessments, Bloomfield Hills Schools will select a benchmark assessment or benchmark assessments that are aligned to state standards. Administer the approved benchmark assessment or local benchmark assessment or any combination thereof to all pupils in grades K through 8 to measure proficiency in reading and mathematics within the first 9 weeks of the 2020-2021 school year, and again, not later than the last day of the 2020-2021 school year. Bloomfield Hills Schools, in consultation with the local health department, will develop guidelines concerning appropriate methods for delivering pupil instruction for the 2020-2021 school year that are based on local data that are based on key metrics. Key metrics that Bloomfield Hills Schools will consider shall include at least all of the following: COVID-19 cases or positive COVID-19 tests, hospitalizations due to COVID-19, number of deaths resulting from COVID-19 over a 14-day period, COVID-19 cases for each day for each 1 million individuals, the percentage of COVID-19 tests over a 4-week period, health capacity strength, testing, tracing, and containment infrastructure with regard to COVID-19. If Bloomfield Hills Schools determines that it is safe to provide in-person instruction to pupils, Bloomfield Hills Schools will prioritize providing in-person instruction to pupils in grades K through 5 who are enrolled in the district. Bloomfield Hills Schools assures that instruction will be delivered as described in this plan and approved by the Bloomfield Hills School Board of Education. The description of instructional delivery in this plan matches the delivery of instruction to be delivered during the 2020-2021 school year. The Bloomfield Hills Schools will reconfirm how instruction will be delivered during the 2020-2021 school year 30 days after ISD approval of the plan and every 30 days thereafter at a meeting of the board. And public comment will be solicited from the parents or legal guardians of the pupils enrolled in Bloomfield Hills Schools during a public meeting described in PA 149. Bloomfield Hills Schools will ensure that students with disabilities will be provided with equitable access to instruction and accommodation in accordance with applicable state and federal laws, rules, and regulations. Bloomfield Hills Schools will ensure that two-way interactions occur between a pupil enrolled in Bloomfield Hills Schools and the pupil's teacher, or at least one of the pupils' teachers during each week of the school year for at least 75% of the pupils enrolled in Bloomfield Hills Schools. The Bloomfield Hills Schools will publicly announce its weekly interaction rates at each Bloomfield Hills School Board meeting, where it reconfirms how instruction is being delivered. The Bloomfield Hills Schools will make those rates available through the Transparency Reporting link located on the Bloomfield Hills Schools website each month for the 2020-2021 school year. Goals and FastBridge. Before I talk about the goals for this year, a couple things to keep in mind when we were working on these goals. We had a couple options. Option number one, you can go with the old adage where you under-promise and over-deliver, where you know you can make the goal so low that almost no matter what, you're going to make it. Or you can decide to bite off more than you can chew and kind of chew like heck. And we went with the second option. We know these are going to be incredibly lofty goals. These would be great goals under normal circumstances. We know if we don't reach the goals, it won't be because we don't have some of the best teachers in the nation or because of lack of effort. But when we really thought about it, we think it's important to set our goals high, to have high expectations for all of our students, to have high expectations for all of ourselves. And if we don't quite make it, then we just don't quite make it. But let's not underpromise and try to overdeliver at the end. So our reading goal, Bloomfield Hills School will maintain proficiency averages established prior to COVID-19 in readings for grades K through 8, with all students on track to make a year's worth of academic growth during the 2020-2021 school year. Mathematics goal, Bloomfield Hills Schools will maintain proficiency averages established prior to COVID-19 in mathematics for grades K through 8, with all students on track to make a year's worth of academic growth during the 2020-2021 school year. Social emotional learning, Bloomfield Hills Schools will screen, respond to, and support student wellness. Multi-tier systems of supports. Although MTSS is always important, we understand its urgency due to COVID-19 and have developed an MTSS response to COVID summarized below. A multi-tier system of support is a comprehensive framework comprised of a collection of research-based strategies designed to meet the individual needs and assets of the whole child. The following 5 essential components of MTSS are interrelated and complementary. Team-based leadership, tiered delivery system, selection and implementation of instruction, interventions, and supports, comprehensive screening and assessment system, continuous database decision-making. As we slowly start to phase in a return to school, it is critical that we are focused on the mental health of our students. We all must work together in order to recognize when students may need additional support. As we are continuing to check in with students, our staff will utilize the chart here to the left to guide and support our students. So some of the things I'd also like to review that were presented earlier that are part of the ECOL. Distance learning is employed for all students during times of complete building closure, during the cohort hybrid schedule, or during periods of required quarantine. Each staff member has a digital platform for students to engage with, including Google Classroom and Canvas. Teachers provide direct instruction via tools like Zoom and Google Meets, while also providing learning-focused feedback in small group and individual one-on-one settings. Multiple cohorts in hybrid scheduling has been designed to reduce the number of students in the face-to-face classroom setting. Students in grades K through 8 will engage in classroom learning in AM or PM cohorts on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Students attending in the AM will engage in remote and asynchronous learning in the afternoon and vice versa. Wednesdays will include whole class activities specific to student wellness and social emotional learning. In addition, students will engage in their co-curricular learning such as PE, music education, Spanish, and art. Students in grades 9 through 12 will engage in classroom learning in A and B cohort grouping. On Monday and Tuesday, all A cohort group students will attend in-person instruction, and cohort B will attend these classes through distance learning concurrently. On Thursday and Friday, all B cohort group students will attend in-person instruction, and cohort A will attend these classes through distance learning concurrently. On Wednesdays, all students will attend classes through distance learning. Wednesday will also include specific social emotional learning activities for all 9 through 12 students. Bloomfield Virtual provides an equitable, caring, and safe learning environment for kindergarten through 5th grade students that is fully virtual. Bloomfield Virtual encourages students to be intellectually curious and academically ambitious, leveraging the power of technology and community. Bloomfield Virtual Learning promotes student agency for all learners to achieve their highest aspirations. Bloomfield Hills Schools is committed to building and supporting a technology ecosystem that is focused on providing equal access for our students, families, and staff that includes connectivity support, access to tools and devices, family technical support for learning and troubleshooting technology issues. Specifically, Bloomfield Hills Schools provides connectivity to broadband, cell services for in-district and center program families in need, access to software tools for online and offline work that is accessible on district and non-district devices, district-provided devices for each student, and additional devices for hybrid or distance learning scenarios for our students with additional learning requirements, virtual classrooms and resources available 24/7, including over 300 software applications and tools for students, provide electric and analog learning resources and support materials directly to families to support and supplement online and offline work, family help desk for families to access real-time support, website and portals for students and families to access additional support materials and resources, and translation services for families to communicate with district services. Special education supports, we presented this information at the September 2nd Board of Education meeting with the Blackhawk Extended Care, which was part of that. That's included in the ECOL as well. And then instructional delivery and exposure to core content. This was presented and approved at the August 6th Board of Education meeting. These were the hybrid plans that we had shared at that time.